It's time to wake up.
Welcome to Ask the Guru. I'm J-Rob, the Guru of Peace, and also the OG of protein. That's right. I started back in 1980, opened my first fitness club, and 8 years later, I founded my second company, J-Rob Enterprises, and created my world-famous protein powder. So I have been around the block a few times, still going at it with the protein powder. Got music going now and many other things. So I'm here to answer your questions. One of my favorite things to do. I love when people have questions or they're puzzled, and I'm happy to share any of my 40 years of wisdom or knowledge that I've been blessed with. So today we've got a question that came in. Also, please note on the comments. Please send your questions in to me on the comments, or just leave a comment too. I always want to remind my viewers of that one there. Question here that came in was, what is the best diet to follow? Is it keto, paleo, macrobiotic, vegan, vegetarian, low-fat, fruitarian, gluten-free, or something else? I am currently out of shape and want to change that. Help. That's a great question. What is the best diet to follow? The simple answer is the best diet for you to follow is the one that works the best for you. I don't think all diets work for everybody. Most diets, especially if they're lopsided, like such as going heavy-duty no carb or heavy-duty no fat, that type of a thing, because it's easy to leave out things that cause problems. So with each diet, there can come some pitfalls. On the keto diet, you're doing no carbs, and now you're stuck in that mode. So if you're keeping carbs really, really low, like 30 grams or less a day, that's not many carbs. So when you're doing that, you'd have the variations that you can do from meal to meal are diminished simply because all carbs are out. Your fruits, vegetables, proteins, maybe some vegetables you can do if you're doing that type of a keto diet. Carnivore diet, I don't think that was on your list, but carnivore diet is very similar to a keto diet where you're just eating animal foods, which can be good for some people and not for other people. People have certain allergies, certain sensitivities to food, so even the best designed diet may have a lot of pitfalls for a person. But I think in general, a good balanced, simple diet of wholesome foods, and that may be sound like I'm really sweeping things under the carpet and saying, oh, this will do it all. But something that's fairly balanced and simple for everybody works good if it's got just enough, as long as it has enough protein, about 25 or 20% of the calories from protein, and then you utilize different variations of the amount of fat compared to carbohydrate. So let's just say it's 20%, you've got 80 more percent, which is your calorie needs for energy. If that's, say, 40% fat and 40% carbohydrate, that can work for some people. And you may have to go higher in fat for some people and a little lower in fat for other people. So that is kind of how I would look at those types of carb-controlled diets, or you're going to have to carb load, such as I did with my fat-burning diet from time to time, to bring carbohydrate back into the diet. I'm not a fan of ketogenic diets that are chronic, meaning you just go on and on and on. It may work for some people, and I'm not poo-pooing them. Don't get me wrong here. If it works for you, just keep doing it. I just think for the general population, cutting out carbs for long periods of time could impair the metabolism, could lower sex drive, could lower testosterone, estrogen, and various other hormones. And just be careful with things like that. You get into paleo. Paleo is a philosophy that, we got to eat like we did 10,000 years or longer ago, like 1 million years ago. Well, we don't know exactly what people ate that long ago. So you're like living off a philosophy, and it's based on eating mostly meat, vegetables, and some fruit. It's not a bad way to eat. I mean, in general, if it works for you, do it. But if your body says, hey, I'd want rice, I listen to my body. That's what I tell people. If you're following a diet and your body goes, hey, I want an orange, and you go, no, I'm not eating an orange because I'm keto. I'm not eating an orange because, on paleo, you're not supposed to eat citrus. Whatever it is, I'm vegan. I'm not going to eat a piece of chicken. Then you got problems because your body's telling you something, and if you don't trust your body, a lot of times this is God talking to you, and if you're not trusting your body and listening very, very carefully, you're going to get into big trouble. And so I say that from experience because I've done every diet out there, and I've done them to the point where they make me ill when they don't work, because I'll just keep doing it just to see what happens. That's how crazy I am. And I've done probably 35 different types of dieting. And trust me, if I override my intuitions and it says get off of this train now and I don't, I will pay the price some way. I'll end up with a rash, a headache, constipation, diarrhea. Something happens to me. And so I pay that price. So don't do that. Listen to your body carefully, and don't be afraid to mix it up one day. Don't be afraid that, hey, I tried this and it's not quite there. My body craved this, I have it. If that doesn't work, just go right back to where you were and keep going. But it's always the same. Just get rid of all the processed junk food. That's a simple thing to do. Just focus on the real foods that you can find. The outsides of the grocery store or health food store is usually where you get your meats, your fruits, your vegetables, your eggs, and so on. That's what you want to base it all on. The rest of the middle part, just have those on fun days or cheat days or whatever it is. But be careful also with vegan diets. I will caution you there. I've tried vegan diets in various forms, fruitarian diets, just eating only fruit. I've done that for long periods of time. 3 weeks was the latest time I tried that, about a year ago. And in the years past, I did full years of all raw foods with fruits, vegetables, and nuts, mostly fruits and some nuts. All those diets do not work. Trust me. They're great for cleansing. They're great for detoxing. They are not any way that you can rebuild your health, your well-being, or anything else. They are good detoxes, I will say that. So fruits are really good at that. But at some point you need more protein. When you're deficient in protein on any diet you follow, and this has happened to me before, you start losing your hair. Trust me, that happens. It's happened on many of the diets I've followed over the years, and vegan diets were the worst for that. Why? Because it's so hard to get protein on a vegan diet. Vegetarian diets, which means vegetarian diet, you can actually include dairy and eggs. No problem whatsoever. You can always get plenty of protein on dairy and egg type diets, vegetarian type diets. We also know that the longest, or one of the 5 top longest lived people on the planet that we know of are vegetarian. And they include dairy and eggs, nuts, seeds, fruits, vegetables, and all that too. So I think it's the best. The longest lived people on the planet that we know of in the blue zones, according to Butler, I think that was his name that wrote that book, are not vegetarian. They're usually they're not vegan. They do eat small amounts of meat, but small amounts means small amounts. They're not big meat eaters, so they're eating usually a starch that's natural to their region and a protein of small amount as a condiment, not like a main feature, as a condiment with that. So they put a little chicken or something in with their rice and veggies or whatever they're eating, or Okinawa, they have sweet potatoes. They have 70% of their diet is sweet potatoes. That's a lot. That's 70% of carbohydrate right there, pure. These are the top living people that we know of on the planet. So think about that. That's a vegetable, and it's a root vegetable. But almost all societies use starches as their base, but they always use a little bit of protein in there, or you will become protein deficient, and you don't want that. And you've got to find out the protein that you need. And if you're training hard and exercising, you do need more protein. A lot of societies do go low in protein, and I think it makes them smaller in stature, and also muscularity smaller, and testosterone and other hormones go down. Protein is very important, but not overly important. Don't overdo it. So anyway, when you choose these diets, just be very, very careful. Listen to your body, and I think you'll do very, very well. They all have their merits, but they are also limited, and just be careful with them. You can never go wrong with just a whole foods, rounded out diet using your intuitions. And say a prayer before you go on any diet and say, God, guide me to the foods you want me to eat to be the best for you, and you'll never go wrong. Love you out there. Please, leave your comments. Like the page. And also, what else do I want them to do?
Subscribe.
Subscribe. That's what we want. So please, and leave your comments. Ask me questions. That's what keeps us going here. I try to do my best to answer all those questions. So anyway, love you. Keep it up out there.
Hang loose. Get the chill on, hang loose.